Welcome back to Project 613. Today we are going to learn two mitzvot. Number one, we will review and add some details to the mitzvah we learned yesterday, which was the mitzvah of machatzit shekel, that every year, annually, we are supposed to give a half a shekel coin to the fund of the Holy Temple, as we learned from the verse, Natnu ish kofar nafsho, that everyone should give the atonement of their soul. And as we learned the details of this mitzvah yesterday, there is a question that arises, and that is, how do we fulfill this mitzvah today? Because, as we learned, the money that was raised for this fund was used to pay for the sacrificial offerings in the Holy Temple. And today, when we don't have a Holy Temple and we don't offer sacrifices, how do we observe this mitzvah? And the answer is that although we cannot observe this mitzvah in its original form, nevertheless, there are things that we do to commemorate and to remember this mitzvah. Firstly, we have a custom that every year, when it comes to the Shabbat around the time of Rosh Chodesh Adar, which is the time that the appeal would take place when the Holy Temple stood, in all synagogues around the world, we read the portion from the Torah that talks about this mitzvah. This is known as Parshat Shekalim, the parsha, the portion of the Torah that talks about this mitzvah of Machatzit Shekel. And this Shabbat is known as Shabbat Shekalim because of this. And what this means is that in the synagogue, in addition to reading the weekly Torah portion from a Torah scroll, we take out a second Torah scroll and we read specifically just the portion that talks about this mitzvah of Machatzit Shekel, of giving the half a shekel coin. A second custom that we have is that on the fast of Esther, the day before Purim, many people give the equivalent of the half a shekel to Tadaka, to charity, and in many shuls around the world, you have a special Tadaka box, a charity box that's labeled Machatzit Shekel, where anyone can give the equivalent of the half a shekel, or the value of the half a shekel, to Tadaka on their behalf, on behalf of their family members as well. And this usually takes place on the day before Purim, on the fast of Esther. Now, in addition to the actual observances that we have to commemorate this mitzvah, there is really an important lesson that we learn from the mitzvah itself, a lesson in Ahavat Yisrael, in how we have to love our fellow as ourselves, that we learn from the fact that the mitzvah is specifically to give half a shekel. Every individual doesn't give a whole shekel. Every person only gives half a shekel. And what this teaches us is that each person on their own, however, as great as they are incomplete. They are only half. If I want to be complete, I have to get together with another Jew. The Jewish people are like one unit. And if I want to be whole, if I want to be complete, I can only be complete if I get together with another Jew. And this is one of the amazing lessons that we learned from Machatzit Shekel, where each person only gave half a shekel, not a whole shekel. If you want your shekel to be complete, you have to get together with your friend. The second mitzvah that we learned today is the mitzvah it is incumbent on the Beit Din, on the Sanhedrin, to set the Jewish calendar, as we learned from the verse HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem Rosh Chodashim, and we will be elaborating on this mitzvah tomorrow and in the coming days as well. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.